Today I'm going to cover the second level of training on what I call the antiviral products, which I also refer to as the Nutra OPA family of products. Now, everyone at this point, I'm sure, has already listened to the first level of training. So I'm going to skip over the whole history of it, where I talked about how it was originally designed as a cure for dysentery in the jungles and how I've been doing this stuff for 35 years. I'm just going to skip all that stuff and get right into the products. Today, we're really going to talk about I'd say a level 2 training of the products. Now, there's 4 words when you're training people. It's important in this second level training to think about training other people. And there's certain words I want you to memorize in the training of those other people. And those words are broad spectrum, antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal. So for this liquid product that will kill all these substances, that's why it's different. Questions are going to come up. Why is it different? Why is it so effective? And the answer is those 4 words. So I'm going to sound a little bit like a record player here when I repeat those 4 words. But as you're training other people, you must emphasize to them that they need to repeat those 4 words. Again, broad spectrum, antifungal, antiviral, antibacterial. Those 4 words are scientifically correct. However, I do have to admit that they are a little bit hard to believe. And 6 years or so, I would have found that very hard to believe. We tested this for 2 years on skincare before we had the nerve to remove all the synthetic chemicals such as methyl and propylparaben from our skincare to make it all natural. Now, those 4 words, the broad spectrum, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, are so profound because it means that we're killing all different aspects. Some of you in the health food industry may have heard of oregano oil as an example. Oregano oil is sold at probably double the price and is an oil from a plant that will kill bacteria. Many things will kill bacteria. Alcohol will kill bacteria. So will oregano oil. Now, oregano oil, which is rather abrasive, difficult to take, will kill a little fungi, but not very many. So I'm answering in advance questions that will come up. What about oregano oil? What about alcohol? Alcohol-based gels, for example, will kill all the bacteria on the hands, and they're sold throughout the world today. And they are very inexpensive. However, they will not kill fungi, and they will not kill viruses. So in this family of Nutra OPA products, we have kind of 2 basic divisions. One comes in a bottle like this. Now this bottle is a 1-ounce bottle with a dropper top. And the first product, we have 4 at this time of these drops, is what we call annual cleanse. Now the annual cleanse is to be taken 3 times a day. The purpose of the product is to kill the negative anaerobic bacteria in the gut. Now many people don't even understand that there's good bacteria, which is what we call positive, and negative bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria just means bacteria that's living in an environment without oxygen. So basically it's living in dark, damp places like your small intestine. And this bacteria can be good or bad. Now the bad or the negative anaerobic bacteria actually serve a role for health, and a little bit of it's okay. It's kind of like a bit of a war going on down there in your gut. But what's happened today, due to the overuse of pharmaceutical drugs and chemicals in the food and not having enough healthy bacteria through yogurt and kefir and many other what we call probiotics, there is too much of the negative bacteria. So it's a very good idea. We believe everybody on the planet, and if you haven't done it, I highly recommend you do it immediately, is to take this cleanse product, which again comes in this 1-ounce dropper bottle, and take it 3 times a day for 2 weeks. And that's going to keep your negative anaerobic bacteria in the gut in balance with the positive. Now, the first question I had when I heard about this product is, well, if it's so good, and if my diet is not so great, why don't I take it every month for a week or 2? And the answer came back clearly from the research scientists that you can overdo it by challenging the healthy bacteria. And in fact, if you kill all negative bacteria, you will challenge the healthy bacteria. Now, another question comes up, what is the difference between the unhealthy or the negative bacteria and the good bacteria? And why is it that only the negative bacteria is killed? The reason is twofold. And these are important technical points that we're covering in the second level training that I hope you'll write down and really learn. The negative bacteria has a thinner cell wall, and it has more receptors, those sort of long receptors you've probably seen in high school biology or university biology. And those receptors actually utilize the, I should say, they pick up the product and they ingest the product through the thin cell wall so that the negative anaerobic bacteria is taking a lot more of the product. Because if the positive bacteria, which has a thicker cell wall and less receptors, picked up as much of the product, it would die too. But because of those two reasons, it remains intact. Now, there's two exceptions that you need to know when you train other people as to this cleanse, when you would take it. One is food poisoning, and the other is when you're traveling to a foreign country and you pick up foreign bacteria. So, for example, if someone from India comes to North America, they may pick up a bacteria, or vice versa. If being from North America, we travel to Mexico or India, or China, we pick up a foreign bacteria. That foreign bacteria generally can multiply in the GI tract, and it needs to be dealt with. So we do what I call a mini cleanse, which is 2 or 3 days, 2 or 3 times a day, preferably 3 times a day, so that you can get rid of that foreign bacteria or food poisoning. So those are the two exceptions. The other question comes up, if you've got one product, and again we have it in this bottle, and now I'm going to pick up another label called Traveler's Friend. The question came up, well, why do you have 4 different labels for the same product? And that's a good question, because initially we just had one label, and we called it Nutra OPA Wellness. OPA stands for organic plant acids, and there's 2 plant acids in the product, plus some trace plant acids. And the 2 plant acids are citric acid and ascorbic acid, which is a special kind of vitamin C. And it's in a base of glycerin with a little bit of table salt. And the mechanism of action of the product is that these 4 ingredients with water actually create a new molecule that the fungi, bacteria or virus, again it's broad spectrum, ingest, and it breaks down their cell wall and they die. So again, coming back to this question, why 4 labels? Well, when you travel, you need to have this product, because if you pick up foreign bacteria, like we've already said, you could get some disturbance. In fact, a client of mine traveled with his daughter to China, and his daughter became so sick she had to be hospitalized because she picked up foreign bacteria. It's very important these days to travel with this product. So we came up with the name Traveler's Friend, because if we called it Nutra OPA Wellness, no one knows what that is. So we just came up with different labels for the same product. Also, individuals in the health food industry are aware of Candida yeast infection, but the average person outside of the health food industry doesn't know what that is. But in the health food industry, it's very important to have a product specifically for that and for parasites. So we said parasites, Candida yeast. So it's different labels for the same thing. Now, the other category of products that we developed in the Nutra OPA family are these sprays, starting with the nasal spray. Now, we actually developed a whole kit, which we can call an antiviral flu kit. And there's 3 products in this kit. There's a nasal spray, a throat spray, and what we call an organic disinfectant spray. Originally, when the scientists developed these products in conjunction with her company, she decided to make an antiviral flu kit because the avian flu epidemic, which is sometimes called bird flu, was in the news a lot, and it looked like it could mutate with a common flu virus. And if that happens, we're in trouble. Hundreds of thousands of people could die. And it is airborne, and it can travel many hundreds, even thousands of miles. Fortunately, that hasn't happened yet. But in preparation of that, we have this flu kit, which consists of the 3 things. And the reason why we have the 3 sprays for the flu kit is because with an airborne virus, if a airborne virus, such as avian flu, comes into your environment, you're going to breathe it in through your nose. And therefore, it'll lodge in the nasal areas, and it can incubate up to 4 hours. So in a serious condition, if there's an outbreak of flu, or if a couple of people in your office have flu and you want to protect yourself, you want to take it every 4 hours. Under normal circumstances, if there's just let's say you're working with 50 people in an office, one person has the flu and you're not too concerned, once a day would be enough. But one product is not enough. That's why we have the three. We have the nasal spray, and you can also breathe this product in, of course. So we have a throat spray, and then we have what we call an organic disinfectant spray. Now, to prevent flu, you want to use the organic disinfectant spray for your hands. So you spray it on your hands, and once you've sprayed it on your hands like this, and I mentioned this in the other introductory part, but I want to repeat, is you have to really cover all areas of your hands, again, between your fingers and so on. And this will prevent the airborne flu virus or fungi from mutating on your hands. Now, the reason why you do your hands is because most of us will maybe flick our hair or scratch yourself, and that means we could contaminate the inside of our body just through our hands. So those three products, and ideally, if you're in a serious situation where there's an outbreak of a serious flu, it's good to use an eye wash. So that's the flu kit. So having designed the flu kit of those three sprays, what happened is the bird flu didn't really happen much. And what happened is that our friends and family were using these products individually, plus some business clients. And my wife, for example, who'd had a nasal condition, a sinus condition, for 12 years, used the product 2 or 3 times a day for 3 months. And towards the end of the 3rd month, for the first time in 12 years, she woke up with 0 sniffling and sinus conditions. Now that is very profound. We don't call it a 100% cure for sinus. And the reason is there may be some fungi lodged in deeply to the cavities in the nasal area. And that fungi is very resilient, but we can get most of it. Remember, the Nutra OPA family of products, the liquids, drops, and the sprays, is a surface contact, broad spectrum antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial products. Because it's a surface contact, it will not kill those 3 things, virus, bacteria, fungi, in the liver, for example. It only works on the GI tract, which is the the stomach, the small intestine, the large intestine. But that's saying quite a bit, and because it's surface contact, it works all those areas I just described. So the Nutra OPA family of products, again, is the drops and the sprays. The throat spray has been used very successfully by people who start feeling they have a little bit of a sore throat. And also, it's been used successfully for public speaking. So I should probably use some now. I'm doing a lot of talking. So if you just spray it like this, you can do that. Now, the organic disinfectant spray that I was just sampling a minute ago, the reason why we called it organic disinfectant spray is that you can spray computer keyboards, doorknobs, washroom areas, sink areas, kitchen counters. You can also spray kitchen cutting boards, and any area where there's shopping carts, any area where there's a lot of different people touching something, and you want it to be sanitized. It could also be called organic sanitizing spray. Either name is fine, organic disinfectant spray or organic sanitizing spray. And so the product itself, this whole family, is very simple because, again, the mechanism of action is that it resembles something to the bacteria, fungi, or virus. It resembles food. They eat it, and they die. And it's going to work for the whole GI tract, and it's also applicable for sprays. Now, right now we have the 3 sprays. However, questions have come up. What about cold sores? So the cold sore, we could use organic disinfectant spray for cold sores. But just like the drops, we may start having different labels for the same product. And another question has come up, what about athlete's foot? So we'll soon be adding to the Nutra OPA family with an athlete's foot spray. Another question has come up, what about fungal spray? Now, we're going to have a specific spray for fungi that'll be a little stronger. However, we emphasize the importance of doing the annual cleanse. Someone going to the Philippines recently said, well, I have some surface fungi in my skin, and I've had it for many years, and I'm going to the Philippines, and when it's hot and moist, it gets worse. What should I do? The answer always is the internal cleanse. And then you can do the external spray as well. And if, say, you're traveling in a country and suddenly you have a fungi that's getting worse, I would do a mini cleanse for 3 days. If something's getting worse, like you've got food poisoning, foreign bacteria, or a fungi multiplying, then just do a mini cleanse, as well as spraying it on the surface of the skin. So we're going to have, what can I say, line additions to this whole Nutra OPA family. But for now, that's the short summary.